Oh, cool. Awesome. Hello. Welcome to On the Lamb podcast. Again, we're a silly, yarny place
to hang out.
Of course, I was gonna go with the rhyme, and I stopped myself.
I was like, "What rhyme?" I was like, "Yeah, I know what you mean."
You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay. It's more like it because probably all girls here.
Yeah. Hang out with your yarn out. Yes, let's do that. Hang out with your knits out. I could just keep going, so we'll stop now. I'm NalediS, the young one.
I'm the older one.
We are from Southernish, Ontario. Again, we
Canada.
are
Not to be confused with other Ontarios.
Pardon?
So not to be confused with other Ontarios.
True. I specifically am from Collingwood, and Tamu is from Cambridge. Oh, I feel like I should address this. So a couple weeks ago when Jamie from Cozy Up Knits or Stitch and Sisters was so kind to give us a little shout out, they were having this cute conversation about how are they doing this?
Oh yeah, I was thinking about that too.
And I totally meant to say something about it last time. So just to in case anyone else was interested to know.
Behind the curtain.
Yeah, behind the curtain of how this actually works. So we live about 2.5 hours apart from each other. Depends on how heavy your foot is and how bad the traffic is, how long it actually takes to get to each other's home.
How many times you have to stop so the kids can go pee on the side
right? Of the road? Yeah, it always takes Tamu way longer to get to my house because somebody always has to poo en route.
We stopped to go pee at a restaurant, and literally 10 minutes later, when you're right between towns and there's nothing around, the other one has to go pee. And I'm like, I asked you 15 times in the parking lot, do you have to pee? No, I don't want to pee.
No, in my opinion, someone always has to number two. Reese always has to have a car poo.
Not anymore. There was like a 1.5 year period where it was a number two.
You left Niagara Falls. Why did you have to stop after leaving Niagara Falls? And you guys went down and drove near the boat? Because he had to
pee. And then Reese also decided he had to pee.
Oh, you said poo.
I don't know, maybe.
That's why I was like,
no, it all blurs together. Someone always has to go to the bathroom, and nobody coordinates their bathroom trips. So it's like one has to go, then another one has to go, then sometimes the other one has to go again. It's ridiculous.
Anyways, so we live about 2 hours apart from each other, give or take bathroom stops. I was gonna say, and depending on which function it is. So anyways, for these episodes, so we use a software called Zoom to call each other. It's like Skype. You just call each other, and then it has a recording function. So I click record, and then that's how the magic happens.
Yeah. It's like Skype, but it's sort of marketed more for like business functions. So like, conference calls, video chats, where it would be like a multi-person meeting. So I use it for other work that I do as well. And it just works really perfectly for this because we can just chat with each other, do whatever we want, upload, download it onto your computer, get it saved onto your computer, edit it, and then re-upload it to YouTube. Yeah. It works very well for what we need it to do.
This is also the reason why we don't talk to the microphone. We're always looking down because, I know for other people as well, when they record, you have the choice to watch yourself talk or look at the camera. But it's like, if I looked at the camera and then I know Tamu's face is down there and I'm like talking to the camera, but I'm like, I want to see what she's talking about. I need to see her face and stuff. So
yeah. And with that split screen view, I think I can change the view where you do the whole screen, but usually for some reason I do the split screen view. So it's like you're a little off to the side as well.
Yeah.
Whatever. So, and we like this one. There are other options. I don't know if you can record through Skype, but I know you can record with Google Hangouts, and there's another one that I've tried. but like specifically with Google Hangouts, there's nothing wrong with that platform. It's great. It just doesn't do the split screen as far as I know. Instead, what would happen is like whichever one of us is talking, whichever one of us the microphone is picking up the most, that's whose face would stay on the screen. So if you've ever watched like Facebook lives or Facebook interviews where there's two people and the face keeps like flipping back and forth, that's why it's like, you know, just a different way for it to work, which works in certain contexts. But I feel like for this kind of conversational style, I find it sometimes kind of jarring when, you know, if you make a little noise in your background, it's going to go to you, then back to me. It's like, it messes with my eyeballs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how this works.
So yeah, that's the peek behind the curtain. The illusion of our technological ingenuity is ruined.
My brain's in a very naughty place though this morning when you keep saying peek behind the curtain, and I'd like to
like
rip
the
off
red light
that.
district. There is this. Oh, never mind. I'm not even gonna.
No, let's just keep it clear.
Move on.
And less editing. All right. So, anything else we want to say admin wise? Oh, okay. So we should say that. Well, welcome back to all the people that have been here with us for the last several weeks or from the start, and welcome to the new people, new on the lamb peeps. I don't know. I was going to say flock members, but that's our other thing. Flock also, I realized, so Tam and I have a business together. It's called Dread Flock, another little peek into our lives, where we do some dreadlock work, and that's called Dread Flock. And it was because of flamingos, because we used to do something else together. Spanish, I don't know, it doesn't, whatever. I don't want to get too far into it. Anyways, I realized flock still works because people call their sheep their flock, right?
Yeah, a group of sheep is called a flock, yeah.
So, our flock.
So welcome to the flock.
Welcome to the flock.
Oh man. It's going to be a day.
It's going to be a day.
All right.
I have no excuse either. I'm well rested. It's no full moon. I'm not menstrual. Just a little kooky today.
It should bode well.
Yeah.
Okay, so first things first, what are you wearing?
I am wearing my Adventures in the Wrong Side.
Super.
I'm very glad it's done. So I showed this, excuse me, I just punched myself in the neck. I've shown this quite a few times. I was not sure what to do with all the colors because the yarn is Pacifica Yarn Company, their Zephyr line, which is a cotton wool blend. And Tamu had given me this yarn because she knew she wasn't going to use it. There was a mini skein pack that had white, light gray, dark gray, this green, and then there was also a pink and an orange. If you want the exact names of the colors, you can see I've got a project page on Ravelry. I'm not going to go through all of it right now. So I was trying to use all of the yarn. I was trying so hard to use all of it. So it was going to look like this basically, but then it was going to still have, in here, it was going to have pink, orange, and then the bind off. And the colors just didn't go well together. They're an odd shade, and pink, orange, and green just aren't my colors to put together. Anyway, so I decided, finally I was just like, I can't do it. I'm taking the pink and orange off. And luckily, when I did that, it was right at the bind off. So all I had to do this week, and basically I finished it to distract myself away from working on Auspice. That's why this got bound up. So it's done. I'm super happy. I love it. It's sort of awkward, and I blocked it. You can see like it's very stiff at the bottom. And then Tamu suggested just do like a gentle, like throw it in the wash with something else delicate. So I had to wash curtains this week anyway. Threw it in with my curtains. It's still very stiff. You can see it's like quite board-like, but it's still cozy. Like it still feels good on. It just sort of looks, it looks very, I don't know, frock-like is the word that comes to my mind, hey?
Yeah, it's a little bib-esque.
It's very bibby. But, oh well. It just like, it's like not like wool that like moves when you move. It just Well, it does. It moves exactly where I go. It doesn't change.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's cozy. I like it. It's sturdy yarn compared to their mist line, which broke very easily.
Yeah.
I did not have the same challenge with this yarn, but
it looks good. I think it's definitely better without the other colors on.
Yeah, I think Jason
likes where the green is placed because then it's just like pops out where it is, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pleased with it. What are you wearing?
I'm officially done my banana breeze.
Nice.
What
did you do to make it work for you?
So what I have done since the last episode, so last episode I was talking about the modifications that I wanted to make. I think it was the last one, or maybe the one before that. I can't remember how long this is.
I think it was 2 ago.
Maybe. Anyways, so I was just having trouble with the fit. I didn't feel like it fit well on me. It was just really felt like it was pulling in funny spots, and I was like, I don't know what to do. So I had gotten it all the way to the end because I thought, well, put the collar on and maybe that'll help. The collar was like rolling out, doing all sorts of crazy stuff. So I took the collar off. I did a contrast collar, which is not specifically called for in the pattern, as well as like the striping is not specifically called for in the pattern. So what I did was take the collar off, picked out my Kitchener stitch on the back, which made me want to stab myself in the eyeball because it was so painful. And I did 2 inches at the top because I had left all the ends because I knew I might need to go and modify something. I just had this feeling that like, don't weave in the ends yet. So I had all these ends. What did I start doing? Using the wrong end. So I thought I had the Kitchener strand. What I actually started doing was like picking out the row that I had attached with the Kitchener. So it was like, I did a certain amount and then I was like, why is this getting so weird and like tangled almost? And I was like, God damn it. And it was like, not a ton, but just like enough that I was like, ah! So I had to like leave those stitches on the needle because it was like, whatever, I just needed to re-knit them once I was done, but then like go back and start picking out the Kitchener again. Whatever. So picked out all the Kitchener, added 10 rows to each side.
Okay, I was gonna ask you that. Did you do both sides?
When I had Kitchener before, and maybe you can kind of tell a little bit on the front, it might be hard to tell on the podcast, but I feel like in the front you could sort of see the Kitchener line in some spots just because like it's a little bit tricky to get the tension exactly to match up with your knitting. So in some spots it's a little too tight, some spots it's a little too loose. And so I was like, well, if that's visible on the back, I don't want it to be like, you know, here's the back of my whole project, here's my back of my whole sweater, and then the line is over here, because I feel like that's going to be weird. And then I also thought for putting on the collar, it might be easier if I just like make sure it's centered. So I did 20 on each side just to make sure, or 10 on each side. 10 on each side, just to make sure it was even. Kitchener it back together, redid the collar. Thankfully, the way the collar instructions are, like numbers aren't really important. You just make sure you know, sort of follow the right pattern. The only thing that I discovered after that I definitely did not do right, and it is making a little bit of a difference, is you can tell here there's like this row of double eyelets that goes, it's like blowing out super bad because it's really weird light out.
You turn the other way?
Maybe.
That's the shoulder?
Yeah, that might work.
Yeah.
You got this row of like double eyelets, double yarn over eyelets down the shoulder, and you do one last one as you're picking up the collar stitches. So I had asked Naledi, when you did your collar, did you work those double eyelets the same way you did down the rest of the arm, or did you just do them as if like whatever, more like in line with the collar stitches? I don't want to give away too much, but anyways, I did them the way that we did this, which turned them from like 2 loops into 4. Not the right idea. Should have kept them as 2.
You looked at mine and I said,
I know, but I had already done them at that point.
Oh.
And I figured 2 extra, it was like, I was like 2 rows beyond it when I asked you. And I was like, that's probably not going to make that big a difference. I don't want to go back. But it's like, because there's like 2 extra stitches there and 2 extra stitches here, and probably a combination of that and how I blocked it, it's making like a little peakiness on that spot. So now that I have the iron out to do something else, I'm going to try and, once I'm done with the iron, steam it a little on that spot and just see if I can kind of smooth it down. I think it's also just when I blocked it flat and like, you know, following a V-neck sort of shape, which I think also like kind of left like a corner or a peak at that point. So it's like, oh, I should have like, I don't know, maybe smoothed it around more somehow. I don't know, but whatever. Otherwise, I am happy with it. I feel like I also am going to steam out the bottom a little bit, hopefully unroll that little, get that 1/4 of an inch back and steam on the back. But otherwise, it's like opening up the block or the back opened up the world. Like, it's like amazing how different it fits now than it, and I almost wish I had taken like a really good before and after picture, because before it was like, because it pulled in so much across the back, it also pulled up. Like, I don't even know, like if you can see how like this comes down more across my arm. So it's like before I could feel that it was like pulling my arms back, pulling the shoulders up, and somehow pulling the back up towards my head. Like, I don't know. And I don't know why, like, just, it's like, it just relaxed the whole thing. And I think it's because the back, well, the whole shape of it is not straight across the bottom. It actually like has a little bit of a slope. Mm-hmm. So I think making that slope shorter is why it like, it kind of peaks in the middle. So it was pulling up higher. So now that that slope's wider in the back, it just like fits my body so much better. And I'm like, other than like, this is not my favorite. And it is like a bit awkward to wear because it's just a different shape than I'm used to. But it's like, now I can get how this is like a wearable thing for me. Because before I was like, I can't move. Like, I can't move my arms. Like, it's like, this is so awkward. But no, this is totally wearable for me. And I realized just this morning that I have a feeling, unless I'm misremembering, I feel like this is the first Stephen West project I've ever made. If I've made something else, I cannot remember it at all. I know I have a lot of stuff queued. I've had a lot of patterns purchased, but I feel like this is the first one I've actually made. And I'm like, maybe that was my first mistake. I started with something that's like so different from anything else I've ever made that it's like, I just don't yet understand his style, you know? And I feel like sometimes when you make multiple patterns by the same designer, you start to get a feel for like their pattern writing style, their, you know, like their vision, their construction techniques and stuff like that. So you can sort of like predict like, okay, this is going to fit me like this, or this is going to fit me differently. Or like one thing I know people have said with his patterns is he writes patterns that fit his body, and his body's much bigger than most of our bodies. So
right, he doesn't
know right off the bat, you might want to make it smaller before you even get started, right?
I would just realize like, yeah, he doesn't have breasts. Because I was thinking like, why? Yeah, because I'm like, I agree for mine. And I just thought it was because of the yarn I used. Again, that was the one I used. Is also the Pacifica Yarn Company with the mist. So it was a cotton wool blend. And it was just so stiff. Again, the same thing. Like, it's so stiff and board-like. I thought that was my problem, was that, like, if it had, like, you know, was just wool or, I don't know, I think Pima cotton even moves a bit more than this kind of, I don't know, because I've never used it before, just what I've seen from, like, other people's projects. It just doesn't, I've never seen yarn that looks this stiff when the project's all done.
Well, it's also the gauge. So again, it's like, if you had thought about who he designs for, really, and your yarn, then you might have changed your gauge, like just upped your needle size a little bit, because you had yarn left over. So it's not like you
had enough.
You could have upped your needle size like 1/2 a millimeter or something like that. And then it might have just, you know, rather than going up to the next size, because that would have made it probably significantly bigger. But just giving you that extra ease that you need to fit around your breasts, right? And then I was thinking about that actually while I was putting this on, because it's funny, I completely forgot that I was going to wear this now that it's actually like done, because I was weaving in the ends last night. So I had something different on, and I was like, oh, right, I was going to wear this, and like, what am I going to wear underneath? Because it's quite open, which is not really, back in my youth, pre-kids, I totally would have worn this with like just a bra underneath and been like, oh, look how cute I am. Now I'm a little like, we got to cover these puppies up. So, you know, I put on my t-shirt, and then I put this on, and I'm like, that's the thing. I'm like, you kind of just want to be Stephen West, where you could wear this with nothing underneath and it would not look inappropriate. And I hadn't even thought about the breasts specifically. I was just more thinking about the, like, you know, being bare chested, not having to worry about bra lines. Cause like, there is no way these girls can go no bra. And like, even a strapless bra is like, it's just a bad idea. It's just, Nobody needs to see that. Plus, like, even if there were no bra straps here, like, if I lift my arm, you'd see it over here. Like, it's just like, again, reasons why you need to be Stephen West. You can wear your knits with nothing underneath and no one will think two thoughts about it. Mm-hmm. Anyways, what are you knitting on?
I'm knitting another pair of socks. Regia 6-ply. This crazy colorway. When I bought these, I went on to loveknitting.com and just bought one of every color of their 6-ply. Oh, I'm a slackhead. One of every color. So Tamu, so it'll work out that Tamu, Jason, and I will each get 2 pairs of socks, and all in different colors. So Tam and I kind of split up which ones that I took the ones that were like obvious for Jason, and then we got to split up the rest of them, and I got these crazy orange mothers. They're super cozy, so I don't care what color they are. Nothing exciting. 2.75 needles.
Just vanilla.
Use magic cast on, and these will, no, I think they'll probably have a funky leg as well. I don't know what yet. What are you working on?
I feel like before I show what I'm working on, we need to put the White Light MKAL image there with like spoiler alert written on it, because I am working on my White Light MKAL by Sweater Freak Knits or Jenny F. And I only say F because I know her last name, but I don't want to butcher it. So I'm just going to say Jenny F of Sweater Freak Knits. Has a mystery knit along going on right now. The first clue was out last Monday. I just cast on this past Monday. So it's been out already for a week. I've seen spoilers online, but just want to give fair warning. If you don't want to know what it looks like, if you're working on it and you're behind a little on the clue,
I will be so kind as to put a timestamp as to when to come back if you don't want to see this spoiler. So
look away now. So this is the starting of so I showed all the yarns that I was using last week, and of course I started another row, which makes no sense at all. So I showed all the yarns that I was intending to use last week. I haven't changed any as yet. So I have started with, I'll just show you what I'm currently using. So I started with Lolo did it from her Barely There in the ash colorway. So it's like very lightly speckled with black, and I'm assuming it's just black, but just the way it like sort of bleeds, the speckles bleed out a little bit. It gives you hints of gray and stuff, but very, very lightly speckled. And then it's really hard to tell, but the very, very pale kind of blue with like purple and teal and stuff speckles is this one from Mid Knit Cravings, their Whirlwind colorway that I got from an appetizer sock set. And it came with beach glass. So that's those darker teal lines that are in there near the beginning. And then I just added in this one-of-a-kind colorway from Mid Knit Cravings, which is like a pale pink and has very similarly colored speckles to what's in the Whirlwind colorway.
I think I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you. I'm like, last time too, I was like, I don't know, I'm not going to be able to put all these yarns in.
No, that's good.
Do you have a project?
It's on my project page, and I've listed all the yarns because there's so many. Yeah. And I mostly was just worried I would lose tags and forget like what weights and stuff like that. Like, because I like to, so when I make my project page, I usually put in exactly what I'm using and just put like one skein if I know I'm probably only using one skein. But then when I'm actually like updating my pattern at my page at the end, I'll go back and put in like the total of what I used. So sometimes I forget what amounts things start at if I don't put it in right away, especially when it's like those appetizer ones where it's not a full skein to begin with. Anyways, yeah, so go to my Ravelry project page. All the yarns are listed. Anyways, so you're basically, the way that the MKAL works, if nobody's done a mystery knit along before and is sticking around for this part, you get some MKALs, like you get a clue. MKAL stands for mystery knit along. Some MKALs you get one clue per week. This one you're getting one every like week and a bit. So the first clue came out, last Monday, whatever that date would have been, April 2nd, I think, or something. Sounds right. And then the second clue is actually coming out today, I think it's like midnight Vancouver time, so it'll come out like sometime overnight for me. So there's like, and then I think the next clue is going to come on the next Monday, and then it's like a week and a half again. Like it's different spacing on this one, which makes me think like that kind of gives you an indication of the length of the clues, like how much knitting is going to be involved in each clue. Because I've done the tilted MKAL that Jenny had done before, and each clue was a week. And basically each clue took me, I was like determined to like do the clue on the day that it was released and just like be done with it for the week. And that was like no problem, at least for the first 3 clues. I think the last clue took me a little bit longer, but whereas this one, it's like the stitch pattern is a little bit more involved. So the shape is a mystery, although she did say, she gave a few clues. It's not going to be a weird shape. There's gonna be no purling. She had a few other things on the project, like on the pattern page on Ravelry. It just has the like logo that she made for the MKAL. It gives you a few like, it's not gonna be this, it's not gonna be that. So yeah, so I have no idea what the shape's gonna end up being. I just know that this is what we've started with. And yeah, I'm excited to see what the next clue is. So I'm trying to finish the first clue because I did start a little bit late, finish the first clue before the next clue comes out, just give myself lots of time. Because I know if I get really behind, I'm not gonna finish. Or it's gonna take me a really long time to finish it. I'd like to be done around the time when the MKAL finishes up, because then I find too, like once everybody starts posting their full finished project, it also like takes the fun out of it. Like the mystery part is what's like exciting and drives me forward. I'm like, finish this one, then I can see what the next one is like. So, and I'm quite like, so far I'm really happy with my colors. Like I wasn't sure once I joined in the pale color, I was like, oh, it's really similar to the kind of white, like the ash colorway. Like it's not, you don't see a lot of contrast in those stripes, but I'm like, it'd be really pretty for like, you know, spring and summer to have those light colors. So we'll see how it goes, how the next clues go. Yeah. All right. Welcome back. If you skipped ahead, you can come back now. Anything else that you're working on this week?
Going to whips?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't know. Do you have FOs?
Oh, yes, I do.
There you go.
What do you want to do next?
You can do FOs if you want. I have no FOs besides this being officially ends woven in. I did a little bit of other finishing this week, but nothing bound off.
Number 1 since last podcast. Again, this was all because I didn't want to do my Auspice because I know it was called Auspice. It's Auspice by Lisa Much. So I finished all the other things. Last week, I was challenged by you to see if I would stick with. I have to say, it depends. It must just depend on the gauge.
Yeah.
I got into a nice rhythm. It's not fast doing twisted ribs. So if you were here last week, I had said I cast on these Easter socks over Easter weekend. You can see I've been wearing these. They're like totally formed to my left and my right foot. Well, they're not like that saggy, but you can tell which foot I've been wearing them on. So I cast these on Easter weekend. Just coincidentally, they were perfect Easter colors. And I got bored with the vanilla, so I switched to twisted rib. I was going to do a twisted rib leg, which I thought was okay at the time, but I thought this is going to suck.
It was okay for the first inch and a half, and I was like, I don't know.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
And the fact of having, like, you know, you said for you, having a mystery knit along helps to drive you forward. Having a little bit of like this, I'll prove you wrong feeling helps to push me forward. So thank you very much. So yeah, twisted rib. And then I thought I would do something a little different, like for the cuff. So I did a 2x1. It's not the cutest, but now I know that twisted ribbon.
Well, as long as it feels good on your leg.
It does. It feels really good. And now I'm like, well, now I know that I probably wouldn't do this again. But yeah, they're done. When's even in? two ends woven in. I was gonna come out wrong.
I was like, what did you just say?
I know. I was getting stuck on the words. Yeah. And I can't believe compared to, because I have both socks cast on with this yarn, and it just happens. Like I just pull the yarn out and it's two different balls that I'm working at the same time for both these. These ones are quite different how they cast on. Look, right? Like yellow at the toe and then it goes to the red. This is green, or orange and green going to the gray. Then the yellow is like way up here. These two, I just pulled the ball out and started working, and they're like they're like exact. Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Funny. Right? So
it's neat when it happens without trying. Like, I hate when it's like with the Molly, where I like the Molly Weasley socks, where I really actually kind of tried to match them up, and somehow they still were like a little bit off, and I was like I should have just gone with it. I should have just not even bothered, just gone to half and left it alone. But
that also happened with well, they don't match, but the not matching works with my Scrumptious Pearl Buddy. What's your favorite color? That I didn't really care, and they worked out amazingly as well.
Yeah.
And then technically it's an AFO. It could have been an FO this week, but you had asked that I don't that take pictures before closing up the ladder. So I had it like almost halfway ladder, or crocheted. I don't know what to say. Closed up, and then I realized, oh shoot, no, I can't do it yet. So it's blocked.
Yeah.
This is a new design of Tamu's pattern. Will be coming out hopefully by the end of this month.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I think so.
It's just the biggest thing is just taking pictures. So
yeah, how long it is.
Obviously, we've got to finish typing it up, but that's awesome.
It'll be on my neck last.
I feel like yours looks longer than mine. I don't know. I'm gonna compare once we have them together.
Yeah,
it would have been pretty well the same amount of yarn. It was the same base and stuff. But
the only thing is, you didn't use a contrast cast on. Not that would give you much more length, but
I didn't use the contrast cast on, but I also didn't use the I-cord cast on. I used the Chinese waitress cast on, and then I did a contrast bind off of the I-cord.
Right.
So pretty well should have used same amount, but
it probably won't be much different, but
it could just be perspective too.
Yeah. So this is Lolo did it. The contrasting I-cord cast on and bind off are Beauty School Dropout, and the main is Pretty Young Thing.
Yeah,
so squishy. It's lovely. Isn't this so fun?
Oh my god, I'm in love with it.
Yeah,
I am so I'm in love with this pattern. I just
and good job carrying.
I didn't have so many things on the needles and so many patterns that are screaming in my head. I would knit 10 of them. I really enjoyed knitting it. Sometimes I have pattern ideas that by the time I get to the end of it, I'm like, why?
Oh, I blocked it the wrong way.
What?
I blocked it the wrong way.
Oh, it's okay. We can just steam that out.
Yeah, I will. I'll steam it out.
Yeah.
Didn't even unfold it until just now. So I didn't even realize it. I just took it off.
I think I blocked mine the same way, but here's a tip.
Yeah, that's why, because I did
here's my tip blocking cowl, my cowl blocking tip.
Yeah, we're having issues today.
My cowl blocking tip, and I cannot remember where I learned this, so I apologize that I'm not giving someone else credit for this, because I did not invent this. Someone else much more intelligent than I came up with this, and I saw it probably on Instagram or something.
Oh, I can't put this on.
Take something. Why?
My hair, because it's tight on my head, and then my leg. Maybe I can.
So what you do when you are blocking a cowl and you don't want to have a crease or anything else that's round, and you're concerned that there will be a crease, when you lay it flat, take something round. So I have used paper towel rolled up and put it in the crease, which is not my favorite brand, because you don't want it to get too wet, depending on how wet your project is, and you don't want it to smell musty. But generally what I use is old knitting needles. I have old knitting needles that I don't straight needles that I don't really use. I have like an aluminum one, and I have like some old plastic ones, and I will put those. So when I blocked that, I blocked it flat. I wasn't so worried about the back because I'm like, on my back, like you won't really see it on the back of the neck, but I obviously want that crease down the front. So I took the old knitting needles, I put one in from each direction, so they should hopefully like meet in the middle, because you don't want to have like a dippy spot where it falls down. But one in from each end, and then when I pin it behind the knitting needle, so it keeps the knitting needle like pressed to the edge of your work, if that makes sense. Maybe at some point I will either take a little video or like just post a picture of me doing it so you can see what it looks like. Yeah, but since learning this method, I have done this, because the only other thing, I was blocking something else that was like a cowl, and I messaged the designer and was like, any tips for how to block this? Because I think at the time I didn't really have good blocking pins, and I just could not figure out how to spread out this like lacy section and not end up with giant creases, because you want it to be like kind of even all the way around. And she was like, oh, I just like blocked it for a while in one position, then repositioned it. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm just like, let's face it, I'm lazy. So if I can take like an extra minute, stick something in there and not have to come back and keep repositioning it, that's ideal for me.
Right.
Yeah, it worked so well. And I've done it with sleeves. Like, I've done the same idea. I think I did post a picture of me doing this when I knit, what's it called? Thunder Road Bolero, which is like a really awesome pattern by, she's Poison Girls on, I think, Ravelry and Instagram. We'll put it down below or whatever. I just made this little bolero last summer to wear to an event. And I was worried about a crease on the little kind of sleeves. They were pretty short little like cap sleeve type things. I took pool noodles, because I had pool noodles into sections that I use for yoga, and I took the pool noodles and stuck them in the arms, and then just because also the edge was rolling, so I just like pinned them to the pool noodle to like no crease and get the edge where I wanted it. Worked beautifully. So that is my tip. Use a dowel, use an old knitting needle, use something that won't absorb the moisture, won't make it stink, and we'll keep it.
You know what I also love about this is how where's the back? I'm gonna get all confused.
I was like, what are you trying
to do? There it is. I love how, here it is. I gotta just take it off. Because you've got like the the stockinette at the back. Mm-hmm. I mean, it doesn't look that drastic on camera, but like just like the different swatch, like what garter looks like compared to what stockinette looks like.
Yeah.
I don't love either one more. It's just the difference. I would just like stop every couple rounds and just like stare at the stockinette for a little bit.
I know, I do it too.
And then keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I kind of want to when I get really obsessed with a pattern, I just want to see it in like so many different like colorways and yarn combinations. So I had started to cast on one holding Tosh Merino Light, which is like a single ply, but it also kind of has like a little halo to it, and some mohair holding the two together. I think I did kind of show it the one time, but then I swiped the needles for something else. So I want to see it in that. I kind of want to see it in like a DK now and see how it would look if it was a bit bulkier.
Yeah. Well, you did it bulky.
No. Oh, I had started it bulky with the bulky yarn that I used. It was Sweet Georgia. I can't remember what they call it. Something 6. Superwash 6 or something like that. It's whatever. It's one of their bulky yarns, and it's very structured. So it's great. It would be great.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, I didn't love
that you really want to like stand up, but I feel like for this, it just wasn't like squishing the way I wanted it to. Right. So I did like use one, because I had 2 hanks of it or 2 skeins or whatever. So I did use one whole ball pretty well while I was trying to work out the increases and stuff, and then they're there, but I've just kind of scrapped them because I'm just like, I don't think I would wear it. It end up being too like,
a collar.
Ethiopian necklace trying to lengthen my neck out. So, So I think if I was going to do it in a bulky, it would have to be like something really soft, or the gauge would have to be very different. I'd need much bigger needles or something. So I'd kind of want to see it in a DK though, because I feel like that would be, I like DK.
Talk about change of subject, but talk about like wanting to. The only thing I have the desire to like do again is this one. Like I really like, I mean, like of all patterns, like part of me wants to do Banal Breeze again because I'm like, I don't think I'm ever actually going to wear that one. I didn't like the yarn and I don't like the shape of it. So I don't even want to go back and fix it. I do want to do his amazing Technicolor Dream Coat. What was that called? Technicolor Dream Coat? You know what I'm talking about? It's like almost the exact same. You do know because that's what I ended up messaging Lavanya Patricella about to figure out what that sweater was that she was wearing.
Yeah. I can't picture it. I remember you messaging her, but I can't picture exactly what it looked like.
It's very similar construction to Banal Breeze.
Side to side, but open in the front, right?
It's not open. No, it's a jumper. Doesn't matter. Anyways, that's the only reason I'll end up knitting that similar construction again. Otherwise, that's kind of like I try something and I'm like, okay, cool. What can I do next? Like what different thing I can do next? Anyways, this is the only one that I like. I probably will end up buying yarn at some point to make this again.
I have yarn if you want to knit one for me.
No, I want one for me to wear. And you have like 7 of these. I feel like not really.
Well, I have 2 that I actually wear. I have 4 altogether.
4 altogether.
One is probably going to get frogged because I got mad that the yarn bled on itself. And I blocked it. And the other one's just a bit small for my liking. So I feel like if I was ever going to wear it, we'd need to take off the bind off and add.
Make it bigger. Or give it to Ada because I think she really liked that one.
Really?
The little one?
Yeah.
With a mountain.
I just feel like that. I'm surprised only because it's not like girly colors.
It's not, but I don't know why she really. Maybe she's changed her mind too. You never know.
A little hard for me to think about giving a
Madeline Tosh.
Not that she's not knit worthy. I love you, Ada. It's not that. It's just like a little bit of a pricey knit for a kid. I suppose if the options are it's going to sit there and nothing's going to ever happen to it, you know, because it's not like I have intentions of frogging it and salvaging the yarn for something else. So I suppose it's better for someone to love it than nobody to love it and it to never see the light of day again. But
it just, of course, that would be the one that she ends up destroying by accident because all the other ones, like, they're beautiful. Anyways, I feel you though. I wasn't really thinking about what yarn it was and what the cost was. Moving on. That was 3. Yeah, that's it.
That was 3.
That was 3. This, my socks, and
and the cowl. I don't know. I like things are blurring together. Whips.
Yep, got those too. What do you have?
Well, you showed your socks that you're working on.
Yep. What do you have next?
MKAL.
Oh yeah, your MKAL.
I have my Borderlands shawl sample. I don't know if there's no point in showing it because I haven't made a ton of progress since last week and excuse me, nobody would really notice the difference. This is like the least exciting whip to show as well because the back panel is done. So I've cast on the front panel of my test knit for Annie, the big sweater.
That looks good. Yeah.
Handlebar mustache.
Now you've made it back a bit too far though. It needs to come. Yeah.
I finished the back panel yesterday. Oh, it's tickling my nose.
What is it about our family that like we could both rock mustaches? Yeah.
All right. Seriously.
We have good faces for mustaches.
I have an all-purpose head. Have you never heard this rant before? I'm sure you have.
Every hat, every pair of sunglasses.
It's kind of the most annoying thing in some ways. So, I mean, the mustache thing, I'm not even going to go there. But sunglasses, you could pick up the most hideous sunglasses from the thing that you're like, nobody looks good in these. And I put them on and you're like, somehow it works. And I don't know why. Clearly it's not something I work at. Like it's just the shape of my head or the length or the shape or the something, the proportions, like the weirdest sunglasses, put them on and you're like, you probably should get those. It also is the same for hats, which is the thing that's really annoying because my hair is too big to fit in the hat.
Yeah.
But there was like a period of time where I used to get my hair chemically straightened. So it would, you know, if I actually like, I would chemically straighten it and then I'd have to like flat iron it and blow dry it and stuff to actually get it to stay straight during the day. But it also happened to be when I worked in retail and we would get like weird flippin' hats into the store. So at one point I worked at Zellers, which is like, it's closed now, but for non-Canadians who don't know Zellers, it's similar to like a Kmart or a Walmart, like, you know, just kind of an all-purpose
Target.
Lower budget department store. I feel like Target's like high-end, low budget. Like,
well, it's true.
Target's a little better, but like it's a similar, they're all based on the same concept
yeah.
of like one-stop shopping-ish. They're putting grocery stores and Walmarts and stuff like, yeah, little one-stop shopping, a little bit of everything. And we would get like the weirdest hats that you're just like, who's wearing that? And I put them on and people would be like, it's still ugly, but somehow it looks good on your head. I'm like, it's the all-purpose head. Like, weird stuff looks good.
It's true. You can do any hat, any pair of sunglasses, any coat, cowl, scarf, like anything around your head works. For me, not the same. My head's like more narrow and my shoulders are more narrow. So I get lost in everything. Yeah. If I wear a coat with a collar that's too big, I look like a greyhound dog somehow. You know, like a greyhound dog. When I wear glasses, I look like a bug. Like my head just doesn't come out far enough.
Yeah.
Like yours does. Mm-hmm. It's true. We should like do a picture of like us wearing the same hat and pair of sunglasses and jacket, and I will look like, and you'll be like,
the only thing I will say is that the broadness of my shoulders, there are certain shapes for women that I cannot. It's not that I can't wear them. I could wear them. They're just not ideal for me. Like anything that sort of cuts in too narrow makes my shoulders look wider. So I feel like I look very, very athletic or sometimes like a linebacker. If I wear like a halter type shape is like not the greatest for me. But yeah, oftentimes I have a long enough neck that I can support high collars and stuff like that. Like turtlenecks and stuff. I don't like them. It doesn't feel comfortable to me, but somehow it works. Anyways.
Yeah. We've said it before. Time I've said it before, but on camera, I've said it before as well. You just have to know your body and dress it accordingly. Yes. You can't always just wear it
on. Like, I feel like that was like my biggest takeaway from like watching, remember What Not to Wear?
Right.
Right? My biggest takeaway from watching that show was always try stuff on. Like, stop looking at the size on the tag. Stop holding it up and going, oh, I don't think that's right for me. Put it on your body because that's the only way to know. Because there are times when, like, I surprise myself with what sizes will fit me that I would never have tried on before. But it's like I grab the size that I think I am, put it on and go, well, I still kind of like this top, but it just doesn't fit right. Then I go down a size or up a size. And I'm like, it fits gorgeously. And no one's going to look at it and be like, oh, she's wearing a 12 on the bottom and a 4 on the top. Like nobody gives a what size it is once it's on you. Like you're the only one who knows. You're the only one who cares. If it rocks, like if it looks hot on you, then wear it out of your house. Like
it's funny talking about this like on a making podcast because it's like try it on, but you're like scrolling through Ravelry looking for all these patterns and you're like, I just need to try this on before I make the whole thing. You can't.
But I feel like for me, when I'm trolling Ravelry and looking for certain things, aside from things that are like interesting shapes that are a little hard to find in a store, the basic shapes of like a drop shoulder versus like a raglan style short sleeve or, you know, things like that, something that's more cropped, something that's oversized. Those are shapes you can find in stores. So, you know, I don't want you to tease all the stores in your area by going and trying on a whole whack of stuff and then never buying anything. But sometimes that is the way that you're going to know, like, does a raglan sleeve look okay on my body? Is a drop sleeve better for me? Go to a store, find a garment that fits those proportions. Maybe it doesn't fit you exactly, but it just gives you an idea of what that looks like on so that you don't knit the whole thing, put it on and go, well, it's a beautiful sweater, but it looks ridiculous on me. Like, and now I'm never going to wear it. Yeah. And now you have to find someone to gift it to. I completely advocate for that. And
yeah.
Like all makers would support you in doing that. And also, like, you know, as you experiment more with sweater making or garment making, which I'm not quite there, but I mean, you know, doing the banal, that was a good experiment of I knit it to the measurements in the pattern, but I left it open to modify after the fact. If you can do that, that's the other way that you can make things fit you perfectly. because it's not about like, oh, I knit a size small or a medium. It's like knit to your measurements, knit to your body.
Yeah.
Like you can knit the body in one size and then modify the sleeve because maybe your arms are a little bigger, maybe your arms are a little smaller, maybe they're a little longer or shorter or whatever, right? Like to me, a knitting pattern is a jumping off point. It's not written in stone that these are the only options. It's a jumping off point. So modify, make it fit, make it work. Sound like Tim Gunn, make it work. Project Runway, anyway.
Yes.
So whatever, back to my whip. Annie has now named this pattern. I'm assuming the name's not a secret. Forgive me, Annie, if it is supposed to be. She called it Stay Wild Moonchild.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm really excited too. Now that the back panel is done, which I started with the back only because it was so long. So now that the back panel's done, I feel like doing the front's not going to be so bad. I have discovered, though, things that you learn the more you knit, that this gauge is not friendly for my hands and arms. I'm finding it really challenging to knit
because it's a
walls of it because it's a worsted weight on a 3.75 millimeter needle. And even switching to the Chow Goose from the Lipka that I was using at the beginning, I thought it was the wood that was slowing me down, that maybe there was just a teensy bit of drag. But even with the Chow Goose, I'm just finding the gauge a little bit hard on my hands. So I will finish it because I want to wear it and because I want to finish testing this for Annie. But in future, when I'm looking for pattern options, something with a gauge like this, I probably will avoid or figure out a way to like put the gauge up and size down or something like that. So that's that. And I think my only other really active whip, although last night I started thinking about my crochet whips because I've been like out of the crochet mojo for a while, and I have 2 crochet designs at least on the needle somewhere or on the hook in a bag somewhere that I want to get back to now that I'm thinking about them. But yeah, my only other whip is my auspice.
Okay.
Sister KAL time?
I have other non-mystery KAL. Mystery KAL? It's not mystery.
Okay.
It's Sister KAL. I have other things. Do you want to do the
Yeah, no, do yours, other ones.
All right, I've got a few. I guess I don't have to show all of them. One of them won't stay on the needles, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, so we're like into boho chic hour because
boho chic o'clock.
Boho chic o'clock. Oh, my foot's asleep. Oh, I was sitting funny.
Oh, right. I was like, what are you knitting, boho chic?
Yeah, my free bird.
Yeah.
The free bird. Oh, my foot is tingling.
Punch it.
Yeah, punch it.
Have you seen that What's Your Number? I don't know why I think that movie's so funny. It's like Anna Faris and that guy whose name I can't remember, who was in Fantastic Four. The cute guy.
I don't know his name.
Anyways, there's some point where she gets off a flight or something and she's like, oh, my leg fell asleep. And he's like, they're talking on the phone and he's telling her to punch it. So she's like, in Washington, D.C., all these like very professional people like walking to where they need to go. And she's standing there on the phone going, ah. And he's just like dying on the phone laughing. And she's actually punching herself in the leg.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Go. Anyhow, this is Free Bird Coccoon by Annie Lupton of Boho Chic Fiber Company. The yarn is Lion Brand Touch of Alpaca, and the color is Taupe. So it is a blend of acrylic and alpaca, 90-10 respectively. Yeah, this was my first time like doing a cabled project, and I'm kind of bored with it now.
There's a lot of repetition in this pattern. I was like really excited for the first little bit, and then you're like,
I was really excited about the swatch, and I was like, I could just keep going on this swatch, and now I'm like into it. It's not bad, like it's simple, like, which is great for a first time doing cabling, to actually feel like confident about putting out like a whole cabled, like it's a big project that I'm gonna do. But I'm like, okay, well, The only thing that's fun is like taking it off the needles, and I'm like, it's not really that fun anymore. The only thing that's going to help to re-excite me is that although I don't know if I think I made a mistake with them. So I thought I didn't have any 5.5 millimeter needles at my house. Stupidly cast this off and then realized, oh, this was
There's
on
my 5.5 millimeter needles.
What?
There's my 5.5 millimeter needles.
Yeah, I just thought I just thought maybe that there wasn't any in that set or something. I just could not think of. Didn't even think about this project, or I would have gone and checked. Like this was like off my radar at the time that I was purchasing new needles. So I got some ChalGus, but you know what? I got these ones. Yeah. So I don't think I'm going to be very happy. It's like lesson learned.
I've knit with fixed circulars that have that bend before. It's not the worst. It's just not my favorite.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, especially now, because I feel like the ones that I had were from like Michael's or Walmart, probably Michael's, ages ago. And I used to use them actually quite frequently. But it's like I'm so out of practice of doing it now that's why it's a bit of a pain. Like, you know, but it's not like they're bad. I know some people really like them. I just personally, because I
guess I'll get a chance to try them out and see. Because I actually now have 3 sets of 5.5 millimeter needles. So it's not like I'm relying on them for every 5.5 millimeter project.
No. And you may find that like the cord and the needle itself make it, you know, you like that enough that you can get over the other part of it to, you know, like it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
Why don't you just knit it off instead of?
You were talking, so I was just like, I'll just kill the time then. But I am also, and it's not that many stitches. And some people do things differently.
It was one of those things I would always like do that, transfer the stitches, and then some point it like occurred to me that I'm like, oh,
it depends.
Start knitting with the new thing.
I would say it depends. Sometimes, because I knew that was going to be so fast. I don't feel like, and I was just waiting for you. It wasn't a big deal, but if I was actually going to knit this right now, and it's been annoying because I just have like they keep falling out of this bag. I don't have the right size bag for this. Which started another idea. I'm like, oh, I should just use that huge ball of purple yarn that Ada gave me for Christmas and combine with some other yarn and make like a giant basket.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, these just keep like falling out of this awkwardly sized bag. I love the bag. It's just not great for like this huge ball of yarn and
that's not a large project.
No, it's not. It's awkward. And I've got the pattern in it. So just things are popping out. Anyhow, so that's why I did it like that. I did get a chance to try some ChalGus on another project that I cast on yesterday. This is like, because I don't want to finish my auspice yet. I just keep on starting new things.
Sorry, hold that thought for 1 second.
Okay. Or those are not the ChalGus anyway. They took them out. Right.
They're absolutely frozen. And I kept looking over at my Molly Weasley socks sitting over there like,
want you.
they're 3 feet away and I can't reach them from my seat.
So I cast on, it's funny because now I've got this and I'm like, oh yeah, I took the ChalGus out last night. So I started some more socks.
Yeah.
It's funny.
What ChalGus did you have for that?
2.5 millimeters.
The little 9-inch ones?
No, not those. No, they were 2.5 millimeter that I bought for some reason. I don't know why. I think I might have just wanted to try ChalGus.
No, I didn't realize you had bought some before. I was like, did I lend them to you? Because I don't remember.
No, these are definitely mine.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I cast them on. This is the only reason I cast these socks on, was to try the ChalGus.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday. So they are, do you know what I'm working? Do you know what yarn this is?
Oh, the other leg warmer? No,
because I don't have that yarn yet.
Oh yeah.
What's
no,
this?
and I don't know what it is.
No.
I can't tell from there. It's kind of a distance between me and the yarn. I don't know what that is. Oh, is that the other brain fog? I don't know. Regia Perfect ones? Okay, cool.
Which means that they are for
me.
Yay! So I did twisted rib again.
Nice.
I didn't mind doing them, and I've done both. It's not fast, it's just something a little bit different, and you get like rhythm going. Yeah, I
like twisted rib. I just don't like it for an extended period of time.
I don't think I would make a whole sweater.
Yeah,
you can't tell right now. I took them off the needles because I've lost 2 pairs. I don't know where they are. 2 other pairs of, I'm sure I have Knitter's Pride and Hiya-Hiya's, Tema's Hiya-Hiya's 2.5 millimeters, and I cannot find them. Like, I have no idea. And I'm like, the funny thing is, yesterday I reorganized my whole craft area, and I reorganized my whole craft area like at least once every like 3 weeks, I would say.
Yeah,
because it's just such a small area and it gets so like bogged up so quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know where they are. Anyhows, I did the cuff in with 2.5 in a twisted rib. They feel really good, and I think that they're going to feel really comfortable on your leg. They're a little bit like, for me, I think they'd end up getting a little bit loose, but they work well. But okay. I'm sizing down to 2.25 with 64 stitches for the rest of the leg and the foot. And I'm stopping here until I see you this weekend.
Okay.
So you can try them on just to make sure they're comfortable.
Okay.
Either way, you're stuck with this because I don't think I'm going to rip it out and then do it again. If I have to rip this out, these aren't going to get finished for another year. But anyway, so that's, Regia Perfect sock. Hopefully you guys all know what that means. That it's this giant ball of yarn that it's self-striping, and it's, I don't know, how do you describe this ball of yarn?
I would say it's like the perfect line is self-patterning. Some of them are stripes, some of them are other kinds of patterns like faux fair isle and stuff like that, or faux color work and stuff like that. But that yellow waste yarn is in between the sections. So it's like similar to some of the hand dyers who dye like 2 matching 50-gram skeins and just like put it together. It's like two socks worth of yarn with this yellow waste yarn in the middle. So you make sure you start both of them at the same point in the color repeat.
Yeah. So
you should get matching socks, assuming you cut off that yellow waste yarn and start them at the same point.
Yeah. They're
designed by Arne and Carlos in relationship or in conjunction with Regia, as you said.
Yes, it's their partnership, yeah.
And to this point, I don't think I've actually knit with that yarn yet.
No,
I
don't got another ball.
I think I ended up giving them all to you.
I have 3 pair. I have 3.
Yeah.
2 that are the exact same. One
the Moor, I think that's the Moor colorway, if I'm not mistaken. And then I gave you one that's like a gray and purple.
Yeah.
Like some stripes and then some like just weird variegated areas.
Jason must be wearing his today. He wears them so often. I cannot believe it. Especially because I knit them like with 2.5s, but so tight. They fit him. They've been holding up so well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. And he loves them. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. And then just really quickly, I'll just show this. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not. Oh, not that one. I also, in an effort to stay away from auspice, I cast on Stormy Sky by, who is it? Oh, they might not even have the name on here. I can't remember who it is. I'll have to plug it at the bottom. I cast on a Stormy Sky shawl. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. Basically, I want it because it's got tassels on it. And it's light and airy. I need the yarn. I don't know if I'm going to keep it because one thing, it's going to be a giant blue shawl. I don't know. It's like, it's pretty, but I just don't know if I'm actually going to wear it.
Mm-hmm.
And I also kind of wanted it because I've never done the drop stitch before. So I thought, okay, well, I'll try this. Yeah, I don't know.
Give it closer to the camera so you can actually see.
Can you really not see when it's back there? I feel like holding it back.
You can see it, but not like, you can't see like really the colors as well, I feel like. I don't know, maybe it's just me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is so pretty. The yarn is Fleece Artist fingering weight, but it's quite a light fingering, fairly light. And the colorway is Frozen Ocean, and it's 100% merino. Actually, I don't know what it says. Merino 2.6 on the band. I don't understand what that means though.
Just one of their lines.
Oh, it's just the line. Okay, well that's them. And it was originally, I've got a note, Boneyard. It was originally going to be for the Boneyard shawl, but then I was like, I need something more interesting than just stockinette stitch. Mm-hmm. The pattern's really beautiful. And I kind of, you know what, I really want to use this for the shawl. I really want to use this period, but I really want to use this for the shawl, but I'm afraid it's like too lightweight. I don't know what I'm afraid of. And it's also, you wear it sideways, so it ends up, it will be like, yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, your gradient won't go top to bottom, it'll go like left to right or whatever.
Yeah.
Left to side.
I don't know how I feel about that.
You have to look at like pictures of other gradient shawls and
I have
see what, like, just to see like how you feel about gradients going in different directions.
Yeah, I have looked at I've looked at like all the pictures. Sorry?
I said I'm with you. I'm mostly a top to bottom gradient kind of person, but
yeah. And I've looked at them, but it's like it's like one thing to work the project. So a lot of people have like photos on Ravelry of the project that's finished, hanging up somewhere, and it's like, okay, well, it looks pretty, but I'm like, I need to see it on your body.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people, I'd say majority of pictures I look at, most people don't have the picture of it on their body.
Yeah. It's easier to take a picture of it flat.
Yes, I get that. I'm like, just take a bathroom selfie. I don't care if it's good photography. I just want to see it on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I also don't want to like cast this onto the wrong project and then like in a couple months be like, oh, that's what it should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm going to work on auspice again. It's going to be done for next week. But at least I let other people cast on. And I saw there was one picture on Instagram. I think her name's Colleen. I hope that's right. That cast on.
Wendy?
Oh, you better
the only one I've seen is Wendy's.
Go into the tag.
That doesn't mean there isn't another one that I...
Yeah, go into the tag. I think her name is Colleen. I'm really sorry if that's wrong.
Why can't I? What is wrong with me? I'm looking right at the Instagram icon and not recognizing the Instagram icon. Like, what? That's weird.
So yeah, so we're doing oh
yeah, there is another one.
Yeah, see? We're doing Sister KAL. So what Tim is looking at right now is on Instagram. We're not running it through Ravelry, our Ravelry group. It's just being run through Instagram. So if you want to either look at pictures, actually I should do that today. I will do it today. So before this this episode goes live, if you go onto Instagram, if you are on Instagram and you search just the tags, it will be hashtag, and I'll plug it at the bottom, hashtag OTL Sister KAL. You'll see a few pictures. Well, at least two now, because there's one other lady, and then I'll post a picture today of the.
I should post a picture of mine too.
Yeah, of our progress so far. So that's what Hema was looking at. Was one other member, and her name was Colleen. Is that right?
Corleen.
Corleen.
Okay.
Sorry, Corleen. So there's one other lady that's knitting it with us so far, and
So follow the hashtag. Well, that's super blown out. Can't see that. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, so there's a picture of Lisa Much with hers blowing out.
So this was my our original picture showing the hashtag. Well, never mind. Not even gonna try anymore.
Wonderful glow.
Huh?
That's a wonderful glow.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm knitting the wrong
Hashtag OTL Sister KAL we'll use for all our Sister KALs, currently the auspice shawl. Cast on before the end of April. I'm not even going to say you have to finish before the end of April because, I mean.
I probably won't.
No, I will get mine done. I also stopped mine because I was like, I could see how this will go speedily.
I'm going to cast it off. It's got to happen because I'm just going to end up casting on a whole bunch of other random things this week if I try to avoid it again. And I'll just wear it for the rest of the month. How does that sound? That's what I'll do. I might actually, you know what the other thing is? I thought maybe I'll use the lichen to cast on this again.
That'd be fun.
Make 2 this month because it's going to end up being a top.
It'll be interesting,
right, the short rows.
Because it'll make it really interesting. Look up Stephen West's, I think, the Dotted Rays. He came up with a few different versions because it's like a similar kind of construction with the short rows. It'll make it really interesting the way that the color will end up kind of layering together, if you will. It'll make it a really interesing looking shawl, I think.
Yeah.
With the gradient. And I don't know. I don't know how many
this is the bottom, right?
No, that's the top.
The top. Oh, good, because then the gray will be close to my face.
I'm pretty sure if you look at her picture,
so I couldn't tell.
Sure where you cast on is on the right side.
Okay.
Because if you look at how the lace sections, because that's what I thought too. I thought we were going bottom up.
I hope you couldn't hear that. I had a good burp.
I didn't hear it. Okay. I also thought it was going bottom up at first, and I was like, this is going to be a weird shape. Then I looked at the picture again, and I could see, because of the way the lace sections, like you do 1, then you do 2, then you do 3 repeats, I could see how it's going in the picture. It's going from right across to the left.
Yeah, you're right.
So if you do it with a gradient, you might end up having enough yardage that you'd have to basically keep following the same sort of pattern and add more sections.
Right.
To use your yarn, to get to the end. But you're going to end up having say you start with the green, you're going to have a wedge of green, and then your black will end up probably touching your green at the very end, but you'll kind of have a wedge of white in the middle. It could look really cool.
I think I'm going to do that. Yeah, because that will allow me to enter our giveaway twice. That would just allow me to keep knitting along with everybody. Everybody, with the other 2 people.
Yeah. I think
join us. This is so fast. And if you have one skein of yarn that you're not sure what to do with, I think it would suit many yarns.
Yeah.
Mom. Hello, Morgan.
Yeah, okay. So this one's mine.
So where are you now?
I'm
at the last section. All I have to do is the last garter section repeat.
You're at the last section?
Yeah.
How many sections are there? Do you have a lot of yarn left?
The last section is 28 repeats of garters.
Oh, I hadn't even read to the bottom of the page. For some reason in my head, I thought there was going to be more sections after section 4. So that's why I was like, how could you be at the last section? I am in the eyelet parts of section 3.
Okay. Yeah, I think I did all the eyelets of section 4. I don't know. Yeah, I think so. Because I've got this big.
There's eyelets in section 4?
I don't know. Hold on, let me look at this again. I don't know.
The only reason I'm asking is because I'm looking at what I have printed here and I don't see eyelets.
Yeah, no. I forgot how this was written. No, there's the eyelet sections are sections in between, and then she labels them the next one.
Yeah.
4. No, I'm just gonna start. I have not started section 4 yet. I finished the last eyelet section.
Okay.
Yeah.
You haven't done section 4 at all yet.
That's not true. Apparently I have. I just haven't done. Oh, okay. I've actually done up to the 8th repeat of section 4. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 more repeats. Oh my gosh, that was such easy math, and I could have figured that out if I'd really thought about it.
I was like, I'm wondering what you're counting right now.
I have 20 repeats left, and then my bind off.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm partway through my eyelets, and my eyelets are super jacked up because I'm quite bright. I didn't realize how small the first section was, like before the first eyelets. So I just started going, so, like not counting anything, not paying attention to what was being needed. And then I was like, I'll just stop and count my stitches. I was like a good 10 stitches over, like, no, 13. I think I was like 13 stitches over. So I was just like, well, I'll just keep going. Like, nuts to this. I'm not going to try and frog it. So I just like wrote down how many stitches I was at. And I kind of knew it would happen, but I also kind of was like kidding myself into thinking that like somehow I would make it all work. So it totally threw off my eyelets at the beginning. Like they're supposed to like, you know, alternate. So they like fit all nicely together. And my first 2 parts of eyelets, like at this end, stack together.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Like little snowmen. But I figure in the grand scheme of the project, gallop test wise,
yeah,
I notice it. And I'm like, it was bothering me for a little bit. Like I went past it and then I kept thinking, oh, I should have just gone back. I'm like, eh.
Now you're too far.
Gallop test wise, now it's all evened out, I believe. So whatever.
Do you remember, speaking of the counts being off, remember I was like, I somehow have like 80 stitches too many or something stupid like that?
On this?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
You don't remember that? Okay. Anyways, so at the
right. We were saying like we were trying to figure out, is the math not working out when you were doing the eyelet section the first time? That's what it was.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So tip to any people who would like to still do this, to join us, or if you're going to do it sometime in the future, if you want to check and make sure that your count is right for your project, don't count it on the eyelet row because you work double yarn overs. So yes, my count was much higher, but then if I had gone to the next row with the knit 2 togethers, and I feel like if you've ever worked like double eyelets, I'm not giving anything away. It's kind of how you do it, right? Like to bring it back down.
No, because there's different, like we did double eyelets on this, but that was meant as an increase.
Oh, that was meant for the
so that, sorry. Like in this particular pattern, the double yarn overs are not meant to increase the number of stitches in your project. It's a design feature. So you get bigger, but then the next row you get smaller. So over those 2 rows, it balances out rather than it, like sometimes you work patterns where you do an eyelet and a decrease right after. So the stitch count stays the same in 1 row. This is over 2 rows. So yes, don't count your stitches, and notice how the stitch counts are not in the eyelet sections.
Yeah, I know.
In the even section.
Either way, so I kept like kicking myself for it because I went back and frogged like, let's say 10 rows. Like it was not like half the project or anything like that.
No.
And near the beginning, either way I had an error and I would have had to go back, and I just chose to go back to before. No, it wasn't even 10 rows. It was a very small amount because I just went like right before I started the first eyelet section.
Yeah.
And it was that when I got to, I think, the end of the eyelet row, like I should have had still 3 stitches at the end of the row or something to just do knits with, and I only had like 2 stitches there. So either way, there was something not quite right, and that's why I went back. But I was like trying to check my numbers to confirm, like, hey, what happened? What's wrong here? And then I realized, oh my gosh, I have 80 stitches too many. No, it was just just yarn overs. Anyhow, now we're all good. So funny.
Nice. At least you figured out what you did though, because that's the thing. It's frustrating when things go off, or you think that you've done something wrong, or that there's something wrong with the pattern, and then you can't figure out what happened. Like, and I've definitely had that experience before. Like even with my banal, my count was way off, and every time I tried to check, I was like, I can't see where I got off. So then eventually I'm just like, okay, whatever, just go with it. But
yeah. Giveaways? Is that all we want to say about the KAL?
Yeah, so you have till the end of April to join in any way that you can. Knitting this shawl. If you can join us to cast off by the end of the month, great. If you cast on before the end of the month, great. We'll draw some winners, and if the number stays small, then probably everyone will win.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That'll be fun. So anyway, so to enter is not through, we'll put this all information again in the description below, but to enter is not through our Ravelry group. It's through Instagram.
Yeah, we're just going to keep it to Instagram. The Ravelry group is there, and perhaps someday we'll find ways to engage you over there, but we're just way more active here and on Instagram, so it just makes sense to keep things to those two places for the time being.
If you're interested, however, in joining, you watch us, but you don't use Instagram, send us a comment on this video so that we can address that, because this is just all very new for us. Like, this is the first KAL that anyone's actually participating in. We've done 2 together before, because again, like, the point to the KAL is just like, it's something that Tem and I just are aligning together to want to knit at the same time.
Yeah.
We also just happened to work out that Tem and I want to use the same yarn for this project, but we did the banal breeze together. We just wanted to do that together, but then we thought, oh, why don't we just invite everyone else to do it with us and make it more fun?
Yeah. Sorry, interrupting. Yeah, sorry, interrupting briefly. When we decide the next one, this time we're going to try, because we've given like 0 notice on the previous ones. So if people had wanted to cast on a banal, we like kind of told them after we had already started.
No, that's not true.
Well, we did. It was like not a lot of notice to plan a project.
I don't know. I don't really. These are the only KALs I've ever done.
Sometimes people give a lot more lead time so that people can really plan it out and think about, is this something I want to make? So my goal is for us to maybe figure out by the next podcast, so like halfway through this month, commit to what our next Sister KAL will be, or if we're not going to cast on for May 1st, at least give you guys like 2 weeks-ish notice on what it is that we're going to do, so that if you do want to join in, you have some time to plan it out, see if it fits in with your current whips and what have you. Okay? Sorry. That popped in my head before. So
sure.
Yeah, so if you don't, as NalediS said, if you don't have Instagram, my thinking is if you don't have Instagram but you are knitting an auspice shawl, or you want to cast on before the end of August, and then like cast on and like
before end of April.
The end of April, oh my goodness. And I mean, like, you can join in with a whip, but like try to put some decent effort into it. Like, get to the end of section 1 at least, so it's not like, oh, I have this little cast on, I'm entering. You know, pretend like you're going to finish it in a decent amount of time. Probably we'll do it like, share with us a link to your Ravelry project page with the picture or something like that. Like if you use Ravelry, like we'll find another way for you to share with us if you don't use Instagram. Because you can't share like pictures and stuff through YouTube so easily. So
yeah. But just send us that initial comment on this video.
Yeah.
Yes, so that we're aware of you.
Yeah.
We're not very good at checking the Ravelry group. There's like no notifications that like carry us over there. It just totally flies off my radar. We're both moms. We both have other things that we do, and then this is our passion, and so it's hard to hold all the pieces together if you don't get that like tiny ding that there's like a new message up over there. Yeah.
The only thing I do like with Ravelry is like if you want a message and you don't know another way to contact us, like Instagram sometimes will hold back those messages from people who like you're not following.
Right.
But Ravelry, if you message through Ravelry, I pretty well always get an email saying, hey, you've got a Ravelry message. So that definitely triggers me to go and look.
Yeah.
And I'm in Ravelry often enough that I do get that little pop up on the side too that says, hey, yeah, message over here.
So you're saying go ahead and message the Ravelry? I'm not sure.
Yeah, you can comment below as well, but you can just send something directly to me through Ravelry. All our information will be down below, and I will definitely be able to get that.
Time is the Raveler. Yeah. I'm not so much the Raveler. Trying though.
Yeah. Okay, so giveaway. So we had 12 comments, I think. Yeah, 12 comments on.
We ran a giveaway last week through our YouTube, and that was just to just a thank you for all the people, new subscriptions that we've had, and we wanted to know like what your main yarn craft is. So that's what Tammy was talking about now. Is the giveaway that we ran last week. It was good for 1 week, and now we can draw the winner. I can't. Oh yeah, Morgan took my phone.
I'm doing it. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. So how many winners are we doing?
I said 3.
Okay.
Number 3. I don't know why I like the number 3.
Okay. Ooh, what did I just do?
Bear with us.
So I copied all the comments copied all the people who commented into a doc, numbered y'all, and using random, what's it called? Random.org. So random number generator, 1 to 12, 3 winners. So Alexandrina, Linda, and Mama in a Manse. We'll put them on the screen, and we'll reply to. I'll go back and reply to those comments so that you directly get notification if you don't see this for a little while. Those are our 3 winners. Congratulations! I was working on. I don't know exactly where we'll put it in, but what we were shooting before. But I was working on one of your prizes right before we came on. So little drawstring project bag. I'm flipping in love with it. I think it's so little drawstring project bag, and probably have like a little dingle dop, and yeah, cuteness.
Cute.
Because we're all hooked on that lamb, riding that lamb hard. Anyways,
we're not gonna get shut down by PETA.
Literally, no actual lambs have ever been
lambs
in my house. No sheep are used in that fashion. Oh, speaking of which, though, I've been debating since yesterday on nothing gross.
I know. No, I wasn't thinking gross. I'm like, speaking of riding lambs. Okay.
Well, you said PETA, and that made me think like, this thing to talk about. But I've been debating since yesterday about whether or not I want to share this, because I'm still not 100% sure. I heard a noise out front. I'm like, what's that sound? I'm still not 100% sure how I feel about it yet, but that's also partially why I want to talk about it. So last episode or the episode before, I was talking about how another podcaster / pattern designer, Truly Myrtle, and I don't recall her actual name, was talking about how she had a pattern that she had used this Possum yarn for. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting, because I didn't know that Possum was a fiber that was used for yarn. Again, picturing a North American opossum. And then somebody commented back to our podcast saying, like, in New Zealand, a possum there is not the same as our opossum here.
Okay.
That it's actually like a pest. Like, it's considered like a pest. There. It's considered, like, I mean, here we kind of consider them a pest. There it's actually a significant problem.
Right.
So I was like, I'm very intrigued, and I kind of want to feel this fiber because, as a yarner, as somebody who appreciates all things in this yarning community, I always am interested in trying new things, feeling new things. Like, is that for me? Is that not for me? So yesterday I had to go run an errand in Waterloo. So I stopped in at Shall We Knit because I had a little time to kill for 2 reasons. There was one thing I was actually looking for, and I also had a little time to kill. So the thing I was actually looking for was the Flexi Flips. I haven't had a chance to try them. I will try them before next week because I'm going to use them. I'm going to cast on with them and bring them. I have a hair appointment tomorrow, so I'm going to bring them with me. But I saw that they had yarn with possum fiber in it. I picked it up and I was like, it is like deliciously soft. It is just, oh my goodness. Like it's so, I would almost say it's comparable, if not ever so slightly softer than cashmere. Like, and I love cashmere. So that's saying something.
What's the price point on that?
So this is a DK weight, 75% New Zealand Merino, 25% Possum. It was, it's 170 yards, so whatever that weight works out to be, 155 meters, if that's your preferred measurement. For DK, at $20, $19.99 for a skein. So it's not bad.
So you're so
for like a luxury, for a luxury fiber. But
possums are a problem in New Zealand. So part of their solution is to like farm them a bit?
No. So when I bought it, I, took my skeins up to the counter, and Karen, the owner, I believe, of Shall We Knit, was like, just so you know, this is a fiber made from an animal that's culled. And I was like, I think I know what culled means. And based on the way she's saying it, I'm like, I think I know what this means. But I was like, oh, okay. And she's like, not everybody knows that, and like how significant a problem possums are in New Zealand. So this is part of the solution to that problem. I was like, okay. Leaving with my skeins and thinking to myself, I got to Google what culled means.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I think I knew, but I didn't want to like make too much of an assumption. Culled is a nice way to say killed. So like kind of like farmed, but not the same. So, but then I started Googling it. And this is why I'm having mixed feelings about it, because in general, I'm not somebody who, I don't support fur in terms of like how we traditionally think of fur, right? Like an animal in nature being hunted down just to take its skin. Like that makes me feel very uncomfortable. I just think like, why his skin, not my skin? Like, you know what I mean? Like it feels weird. But I eat meat. Like I'm not vegan. Like, and so I get that there's like double standards there and like huge debates we could have, and that's not where I want to go with this. I just wanted to like share what I learned about this fiber, because it sort of made me feel better about it. I'm still not 100% sure I'm going to be able to use it, but I feel 75% better about it. So I started Googling it. First, I ended up on the pages of people who make yarn or sell yarn with this fiber. So I was like, well, of course they're going to tell me it's like a good idea, because that's their product. And whatever, that's business. I'm not criticizing them in that way. But then I also ended up on the New Zealand government website. And I was like, I feel like of all the places, that's like the best source of information on this. And their information was the same. In the 1890s or something like that, possums were brought to New Zealand to try to get their population going to be used for fur, so that people could hunt them down and use them for fur. But because they're not native to that area, they have no predators. And so they brought them, what I ended up reading was that they brought them over one time, tried to get them going, it didn't happen, brought them over again several years later, maybe 20 years later, something like that, and then they exploded. And it's to the point that they are completely decimating areas of natural vegetation and of bird populations in that area in New Zealand, because they are, what did they say? Omnivores by convenience or something like that. So they mostly eat plants, and their population is in the like millions and millions and millions. Like I want to say hundreds of millions, but that could be a little bit of an over exaggeration, but like the number was really, really high. For a small island, the number is really, really high. They look cute and cuddly when you see cute and cuddly pictures, but apparently they're quite vicious. And yeah, they are saying that there's areas where you can see how they have just completely eaten like an entire forest, an entire tree community in a very short period of time, because they just attack it full force. And I mean, it's survival for them. I'm not saying that they're doing it to be mean to New Zealanders, but but then if they're having trouble finding food, like if they come across a nest, they're eating eggs, they're eating chicks of of their bird populations. Plus they're eating habitats of those bird populations and bug populations and insect populations. And it's creating a very significant ecological issue in New Zealand. So the bottom line is they were going to be culled either way. Government, like there is a campaign in New Zealand to be pest free, to rid themselves of all their non-native animal species by 2020. They're going to be killed anyways. So the New Zealand government said to people, find a way to make it so that we're not just killing them to kill them, we're killing them and we're going to use it for something. We're going to do something with them, which I was like, it feels wrong to kill the animal, but at least we're doing it and trying to make it responsible. Sort of makes me feel better about it. So that's what they figured was a good solution, is that they're going to get rid of them anyways. Let's use their fur and see if we can spin it into yarn. So I think initially one of the websites was saying like one company was able to like develop a technique of how to blend it with wool and spin it because the fiber is kind of different, and that it's like significantly warmer than like cashmere or wool, that it's very, very light. It's very, very soft. It's like a hollow structured fiber, so it's a little different than some of the other options. Anyways, so I don't necessarily want to start any kind of debate. I'm not saying please comment with your thoughts on it, because I absolutely understand why there would be so many mixed emotions about this. Mm-hmm. And I personally have mixed emotions about it.
Yeah, it's not that I think it's good. I'm like having a hard time. I really want to talk about it. This is not the right platform for it.
No.
I'm not saying I think it's all bad. I'm not trying to like express that I think it's all bad.
Hold on again. All right.
I'm not trying to express that it's all bad. It's just that there's like it's so layered.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's like what I always come back to in my, like when I'm trying to think about like how do I feel about that situation, is like every situation there are multiple perspectives. Mm-hmm. And it's like watching a nature documentary. When the nature documentary is about the zebra, you're like, yeah, zebra, you get away from that lion. You saved your life. You run like hell. When you're watching it from the perspective of the lion, you're like, get that zebra. You got to feed your kids. Like, you get it. Like, go and kill it. Like, depending on whose side you're on. You know, like, yeah, I get it. It's not the possum's fault that they were brought to this place.
Exactly.
They're just trying to live their life.
They're surviving.
Well, exactly.
That's exactly what humans do. But I'm going to stop, because that's where I have to stop.
Yeah. Anyways, again, I get why there's mixed emotions about it.
Thank you for sharing it, though.
I was like, but I feel very compelled. Like I have to say it out loud, because I'm still processing how I feel about it. It's so soft. I was like thinking about like, what would I cast on with this yesterday? And I was kind of like, did a few like little drawings of like, oh, I could knit this. And I was like, I almost started to wind it. And I was like, but I'm still not sure I'm 100% on it. It's so soft though.
And that my brain is open to learning more and thinking about it. I don't know that I'm at the place where I would buy it yet, but I thank you for, that's courageous to share all that, and that, you know.
Well, and I was feeling nervous about it, because I know I absolutely get, and I would be totally okay if somebody was like, I'm going to unsubscribe because you bought that skein. And that's absolutely your right and your choice. And if you feel so strongly about it that you can't look at that like 100% go and do you, because I'm a firm believer in we're all allowed to have our own opinions and make our own decisions. And, you know, a big factor for me in keeping the skein or deciding to keep the skein is about, because I said I'm not vegan. Mm-hmm. It's about things being done humanely and with the care and consideration for how the animal is treated is a big consideration for me. And, you know, so that's like a big part of it, is like I have to sit and feel like emotionally, energetically, how do I feel with this skein in my hand? Does this feel okay to me, or does this feel like there's a wrong happening here? So yeah, and I'm not from New Zealand, so that also for me puts like a totally different spin, because when you read articles that are written by people who live in New Zealand, it's like it's a hot issue for them. It's a huge issue, and people are really like fired up about it from the perspective of preserving their home, their island. Like,
yeah.
If termites were in your house, eating your house, yeah, you'd call an exterminator and take them down a peg, because it's survival for you. They're like big, hairy termites, I guess. I don't know, you know? Anyways, the end.
Yes, the end, please.
Don't say never-ending debate.
I'm having a really hard time, so we gotta switch.
I don't really, I mean, I have other stuff I could share, but my flexi flips, I'm very excited to try these. I've been thinking about them for a long time, and woo.
Now hold them still so I can actually see them. So I've heard of flexi flips before, but I don't think I've actually seen a one. What's the purpose of them?
So it's like a double pointed needle, but with a flexible section in the middle.
Because at least you don't have these like straight double pointed needles that are like make your work really rigid. Okay.
Right. And there were ones that came out a while ago, I believe they were plastic, that were a double pointed needle like this, like a boomerang kind of shape, but it was like hard plastic, so it was always like this. That was also supposed to kind of ease that, like, you know, big long straight section kind of issue. But these ones, as I said, are flexible. So I've heard I've heard mixed reviews.
Keep talking.
I've heard mixed reviews, but mostly leaning towards the people not enjoying them.
Okay.
And so it's like one of those things, like, you know, Karen was saying too, like that people who love them, and people who hate them. Like, you either are going to be like, yes, this is for me, or you're going to be like, no, never again.
Right.
And that's how I sort of felt about the 9-inch circulars, that I was just like, I cannot get these at all. Now, when I tried the 9-inch circulars to do sleeve knitting with a 4mm tip, I was like, oh, I can get behind this. Like, that made sense to me. But the teeny sock ones, I can't get my hands around them. So I'm very interested to see how these will change that for me. Now, they are, because so many people are trying them and buying them, it's kind of hard to get the sizes you need. So these are a little smaller than I would normally do for a sock needle. They're 2mm. Because I was like, I just need to try them. Like, I'm not going to wait until other sizes are in. So I pulled out a ball of
cast on, yeah.
Where did it go? Buried under things. I just pulled out a ball of commercial sock yarn.
Okay.
That I won't feel too bad if they end up being a snug for me. So this is ones I had ordered from Love Knitting a while ago when Paintbox came out with their sock yarns. So it's 75-25 mix. This one's called...
I didn't realize Paintbox was considered commercial. Yeah, I guess it's...
It's a Love Knitting. Like, it's a brand that's sold on Love Knitting. So I would say... I think of commercial in terms of like mass-produced, and you don't really know the person behind it. Like, to me, like, Madeline Tosh almost feels like the halfway point between like commercial and hand dyed, because it's like, you know that there's like a real person back there. Same with like Sweet Georgia, like there is a real person, but they're also like have grown to be on a larger scale where they're in a.
And are they all Madeline Tosh all hand dyed every skein?
As far as I know, like it's all real people like working there. It's not machines.
And those?
Whereas I think like paint boxes, like machines do this.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought that they were hand painted. Like specifically hand painted.
Like the only other paint box yarns that I've ever
me.
tried or seen are all like acrylics, which is usually not hand dyed. Anyways, so I'm excited to try the paint box. When they came out with their sock yarns, came out with I think 4 different like variations. So this is the Fair Isle variation. They have like a speckly kind of one. I can't remember what it's called. Newsprint, or no, I think the colorway I got is called newsprint, but it looks like snow, you know, like on a TV. I think they came out with like true stripes and then like a gradient kind of one. Anyways,
okay.
This is supposed to look like Fair Isle kind of. Yeah, anyways, so I thought this would be a good way to experiment with those teeny needles, because I won't feel too sad if, you know, if I used something hand dyed that was much more expensive, I'd be a little bit gutted if I couldn't actually wear it at the end. But I won't be too upset if these are, I'll just give them to you.
That's what I was just thinking, and I was like, nope, won't say it.
Anyways, so I'm excited to experiment with those.
Mm-hmm. You know, you just make more stitches. It's not like it's going to be teeny. You just cast on more.
Yeah, I'm still like, because they're 2 millimeters, I don't even know what my count would be. Like, I just never knit. Well, if I have ever knit socks with needles that small, it's been a very long time. So I have to like probably go to Ravelry and see if there's any free patterns that I can just look at numbers for, because I don't even know.
I'm just going to guess that with the gauge being that small, they're going to have to be really amazing needles for both socks to get finished.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to have
it's like, it's not that they have to be amazing needles. I just have to be able to keep up the pace that I am accustomed to. Mm. It's when it starts to slow down significantly or become like seriously fatiguing to my hands, because I think I've probably mentioned before, I mean, I knit quite a lot and I do get hand fatigue. I also am a yoga instructor, and now I spend a lot of time at my computer, more than I have in a while. So I do get quite a bit of hand fatigue. So gauge and needle size and switching projects and things like that are really important to me to be able to knit more, or knit as much as I want to. So like with the 9-inch circulars, that was my main deterrent in not persevering and trying to see if I could get to a place where they would be more comfortable. It was too painful. Like trying to hold the needles, it's like as soon as I bend my hands into this kind of a position where I'm really twisted around, I can feel that tension right there, which I know in like a few rounds of knitting is going to be pain.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, that's not a good position for my hands to be in. So it's not worth it, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyways, that was all.
That's it. Congratulations again to our winners.
Yeah, we're edging on 200, so who knows? There might be another giveaway
pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Join the Sister KAL.
Yes.
And stay tuned. I guess next week, by next week, I will have winners for the Instagram part of the 100 subscriber giveaway, so I will announce that here, even though I'll message them there. And
all your patterns remain
oh yeah, everything's 50% off. When did I do it till the end of the month?
Oh, was it today? No, I think it's done. Scratch that.
No, I think I had it
to the 11th. No, I don't know.
We'll put it somewhere on the bottom of the screen.
It's funny because we're like, this is the first like official KAL that's running, first like official giveaway and everything, and we're like doing so much of it all at one time.
Even if we weren't, I just don't retain dates well, so I feel like I probably would have trouble remembering. Which is why a lot of times I'll just do dates like first of the month.
Yeah.
Day of the month, because I'm like, I don't have to remember, was it the 15th or the 17th or this Monday or whatever. It's like, yeah, I can't remember. I feel like I did it to a Friday at midnight, but I feel like it's still going.
You're probably right, because you took the lead on all that stuff, and it would have been different if I had been the one to type it out.
Yeah. All right.
I think entry into the one. Yeah, that's what was the 11th. I know. There was one more thing that I was going to say. And it's totally gone. If I remember, I'll just plug it at the bottom right here. I don't remember what I was going to say. A reminder for something. We said your patterns, giveaway winners, Sister KAL. Oh, that next week we will also mention what the next Sister KAL will be. That was the only other thing I was going to say.
Yeah, I'll try to decide by next week.
We know what the theme will be. It's just whether or not it's going to be just one pattern or any pattern within a theme. That's what I'm leaning more towards.
Yeah, I think we're going to have trouble.
I think that's okay that we're not going to do the exact same thing, because I don't
know I've said about it. I just like, well, we could tell people what theme we're
thinking. So then let's just talk about it really quick, because I'd like to go. So it's Jason. Sorry, that sounds rude, but it's Jason's last day off. He took a couple extra days off this week, so we had 5 days together, and this is the last day that he's home all day, and so it's 12:30. I'm also hungry. So
yeah, so we were talking about doing like a summer garment, so a tank or a light tee or something, whatever you consider to be a summer garment.
Yeah, because it could also be like a shawl with like light yarn or something if it's a summer shawl. Yeah.
Well, or even like a sweater. Like if you're like, I just want a sweater that I can throw over when it gets chilly in the summer, because Lord knows there are lots of summer days where I'm still wearing sweaters. So
good, because I think there was something else of Annie's that I was looking at this morning. That I was like, oh,
whatever you intend. Like, so the intention in my head anyways is like, we're going to knit that through May, or maybe May a little into June, or something like that, with the intention of it being ready for this summer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have lots of like projects planned that are sweaters and garments and what have you, but they're definitely like, I might knit them now, but I'm not wearing them till the fall probably, or the winter. So it's like, whatever you're going to knit, garment, not so much shawl.
Oh, so not a shawl. Right. Garment, yes. Garment.
You know, but a garment could still be like a poncho or a swancho or
vest or
anything. Yeah. So it could be shawl-esque, but still like it should have sleeve holes or a neck.
Oh, I should put that picture in of or go and I don't have a good way of searching it. My Make 9, that thing by Jenny F. with the cotton. It's like a vest, or you could wear it as like a cowl. You know?
Oh yeah, it's not really a Mobius cowl, but yeah, it's like a cowl with sleeve holes in it, so it can look
I'll just put the picture in here.
Vest with like a swoopy front, or you could just wear it as a cowl. Yeah, that's a good example. I kind of also, maybe I've just decided, because I also wanted to knit that l'envelope, which is kind of like a shawl with like one sleeve.
It's pretty heavy, isn't it?
Well, it's worsted weight, but I would totally wear that like into the early parts of the summer when it's like chilly in the mornings, taking the boys to school. Because you know, summer days where it's like 30 degrees in the afternoon, but like 5 first thing in the morning. It's like frost on the car in the morning, and then you're sweating by the afternoon. So like in the morning taking the boys to school, I'd love that instead of like a full-on jacket. And I also run colder than normal people.
Yeah.
So like there are lots of days where people are in t-shirts and I'm still in long sleeves.
Yeah.
An actual sweatshirt or something, just like unzipped or whatever. So, because apparently I'm like a lizard.
You and Jason. Actually, I can't really talk. I'm also pretty cold.
Anyways, yeah. So that's totally something I would knit with the intention of wearing it into the early parts of summer, because it doesn't have to be something you're going to wear all summer long. I've
just decided, I think mine will be that Sweater Freak Knits one, because I've got the yarn for it already. Anything else, I have to order something for it. And then it's nicking something off my Make 9. 2 birds, 1 stone.
And maybe, because the other thing I was thinking is like, I also want to make something that's like, I think I sent you the one picture, something that's like a cotton, lighter, lacier type summer top.
Yeah, okay.
For layering over a tank top or whatever. So maybe later in the summer we'll do something that's like, now it actually has to be like hot weather.
Yeah.
Something, you know.
Yeah, because there was another tank of Annie Luptons again.
Yeah. So maybe this one is your early summer garment, your spring summer transition garment, and then later in the summer. And if you want to knit something like summer, that's totally fine too. We're pretty easygoing like that.
Very easygoing.
Yeah. So that's the general theme, the gist of our thought process going into it. We're probably not going to judge too much on what your pattern choices are, other than
it will depend where you are in the world as well, right? Like yeah,
because you might not even be transitioning. You might not even be transitioning into summer like our summer. Like you're getting ready for hot weather, the other side of the world's getting ready for colder weather, rainier weather or whatever. So whatever you're going to wear over the next few months, that's totally appropriate in my books. So
now we've just made it more confusing.
There are no rules. It's knit a light garment.
Your hemisphere, it's going to be the hemisphere seasonable garment. Knit along or make along, because maybe you want to crochet something.
Yeah.
Let's just make it extra hard to keep track. We're very open. Just knit with us, basically.
Pick a garment that you're going to wear in the next few months.
Yes.
Me Made May. Your Me Made May garment. Me Made May.
May. Okay, I was like, me.
Like, I think it was like last May. I saw it on Instagram. People were using that hashtag, and all month of May trying to wear something every single day that they made themselves.
Okay.
I like tried to, but at that point I didn't really have as many things that I actually enjoyed wearing out of the house. So it was like, I'll wear something every day, but it'll be like the same thing all week.
Yeah, I wouldn't have enough for every day.
But you could rotate through a few things.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Oh, I thought it had to be something different.
Well, I think like I feel like it was probably started more by people who sew.
Okay.
So like you're wearing like a hand sewn, but like some of them also knit. So it was like they could switch between like a hand sewn thing and a hand knit thing. Because I think a lot of my me made May things too were like socks.
I love that.
Socks. Me made May.
Me. My me made May.
A good one. By next May, I might actually have like enough to wear more things. Anyways, we need to wrap this business up.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Nice. Thank you to everybody again. Congratulations once again to the winners. Thank you if you've stayed to this point. You're my hero if you stayed to this point. Look at this wonderful bag. I can't wait to have one of these bags. A few more sleeps and one of these will be in my possession as well.
We get the first two because
testing out stuff, and we realized.
And because I realized I did them on different sides of the bag. I did the first one like excitedly and without thinking, and then realized that because I have issues, I just always like the tag. When I'm looking at a bag, I want it like this, like where the tag on my right when I'm looking at it, because I'm right-handed, and that, I don't know, that just makes sense for my brain. But the first one I did excitedly and realized after I had done it on the wrong side. So first two are definitely yours.
I will take either one. It doesn't bother me, but I'm fine if that's something you want to keep consistent. Yeah. I love them. Oh my gosh.
All right, wrapping it up. Thanks for stopping by.
Yarn on, people.
Yarny week. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Yarn on.
Bye.
Bye.